Welcome to 180 U-Turn, the talk show that features some of the greatest conversion stories of our time. Stories of men and women who are on the highway to hell when they encountered a Damascus Road event that completely turned their lives around. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, and today I'm broadcasting live from Church on the Street at the Dream Center in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, one of the top post-prison transition, detox, and rehab facilities for inmates, drug and alcohol abuse. For more information on their prison ministry, their rehabilitation services, their weekly meetings, and any of their special events, just hop out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. And remember, if you want to write me at the show, Steve at 180uturn.com. That's Steve at YOUTURN.com. Today is day 2 on 180, where we're featuring a spotlight on Elena Kloeckner. Now, I just say, if you haven't seen yesterday's show, you need to go back out on YouTube and watch it in succession. So if you're reading this on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, to get the chronology of her story, you need to go back out. And most of you now that have been watching us, you got that. Even if you come in late, you go and try to catch out the next two. Now, when we left, we're talking about, being divorced at age 24, right?
Yes.
And feeling like a loser and having no self-worth, no self-esteem. Now, this is an interesting thing because I find it just fantastic that the God component of all these stories is the only way this can be reasserted into our lives, bringing new value, bringing new self-worth. I don't see how anybody can go through secular psychobabble counseling, to me, and not have the God component on this.
Right.
But again, I've heard people say they can, but I have not seen the evidence. Now, when we talk about this, you started going to school and you wanted to be in, I always like people who are into dope that want to get into medical assistance or pharmaceutical work at a drug house, It's like, wait a minute, isn't that like letting the fox in the chicken house, so to speak? No. But you went and tried to do that for some time and worked in urgent care, right?
Yeah, I wasn't using at that time. This was still during the time of me when I had stopped using and when I started again. So at this time I was sober.
Well, let me just stop you there. We stop. We're good. We don't have the cravings.
Right.
Why would I want to return? See, you're an intelligent person. You're smart. I've seen your other writing that you do. Why would this person, once off, why would I want to go back on?
Leaning to my own understanding, I would assume. I don't know. Healthcare field has been something that I've been passionate about since I was a child. Mm-hmm. I'd always wanted to get into the healthcare field. So once I actually had the opportunity to do so, I jumped on it. And I love school, so I got 2 birds, 1 stone there. I got to go to school for it, and I got to actually do it afterwards. So, as I don't think I was thinking about the whole sobriety thing. I thought I was past all that, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking about, when you started drinking again. And you're now snorting Percocet, which is actually a legal pharmaceutical, but did you have it legally or was it illicit? You got it illegal, or you going to somebody's medicine cabinet for this?
I didn't go into anybody's medicine cabinet. I just, and this was a little bit later too. I actually had met somebody and started using the pills and stuff with him. But I was buying them, so it was, I guess, illicitly, I was purchasing them from people.
You're not eating Percocet. Am I getting any other value by snorting it versus just taking it orally?
From what I hear, it goes straight to your brain. I don't know.
Yes. Well, I've noticed that smoking things and snorting things are kind of a direct line to my brain, right? Mm-hmm. And in my case, my bridge is out in my brain, so I don't know if I want to do that. Okay. So when I'm looking at you're smoking pills now.
Yes.
And you're doing it a lot.
Oh, yes, a lot was an understatement.
What kind of daily Percocet habit do I have?
Well, let's see. I stopped counting it as in reference to money. So when I'd have money, it wasn't, I had $40. It's, I had 2 pills, even when I had the cash in my hands. So it would go through about, in a day, I would, like 4 to 6 or something, and that's on a bad day. I spent my whole tax return on it. I would take money loans out on my bank account for it, and go through hundreds of dollars in like a week, and that would be nothing. That'd be.
And I just want to contrast it. You were a responsible person.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden we're taking loans out against our account, money that we don't have, putting it on charge cards, money again we don't have. This is a person who went from very good stewardship, wanting to pay her bills, having a good job, to now having problems with paying bills, taking loans, all for a cheap thrill, I'd have to say, because we're not into the... Are you doing meth at this time as well?
No.
Okay, so it's just Percocet still. Yeah, I would say that would be the cheaper, lower end of the ladder here.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to make sure we understand. People burn through all their money and then go ahead and rack up serious debt so that I can, whatever their drug of choice, in this case Percocet, could be Vicodin, doesn't really matter, or robo tripping if you're a child. And I'm just saying, these things happen and we're spending real money on it. This is how we get in trouble. And people don't recognize their addiction until they get their statements.
Right.
So sometimes you're fooling yourself. You're deceiving yourself, and all of a sudden, there's my Citibank card. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm not paying it. I'm not even doing the minimum monthly anymore.
Yeah.
So tell me, in your mind, because I know that you want to be with your kids, but you're struggling with opioids. You're struggling with painkillers, right? We're trying to suppress things that happen that are bad, and nobody debates watching a show like this and saying, yes, you had some bad stuff happen, and bad people with everybody's there for you. I think you'd find a lot of sympathy in my audience for sure. But now we have kids involved, and we want to get back to our kids, and so we want to get off it. Do you think that in your mind, I'm asking you, do you think in your mind you were ready to say, listen, I got to get my life together. I need to just focus on my kids, get my job in order, and be a really good participating citizen?
After I lost my house and moved in with my sister, that was when even going through all that, losing my house and everything, I still didn't realize just how bad it was until I started realizing how sick I was getting without them. And that's when
You're really physically sick when you don't have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's when I ended up calling my ex to see if he would take them for a little while. I didn't tell him what was going on, just said some personal stuff was going on, and because I was going to try to get off of them. But the way that I tried to get off of them was probably the worst idea, like one of those just really bad ideas, because I had heard that you could use meth to get off opiates. So then I started using meth again to lay off of the opiates, and it worked for a little while. It did. I was off the opiates, I didn't get sick, and then I had decided, okay, I should probably stop using the meth now. And that's when I let somebody convince me to try heroin.
Yeah, I see this steady decline and descent into the abyss. And so when I'm looking at this, and by the way, I can totally understand that after doing this show so many times, people's rationale behind this. Yes, I know I'm addicted to opiates. Maybe meth can give me a small transition to get off all this stuff.
Yes.
Right? But then you stay on it too long and you fool yourself, and before you know it, now I'm on to meth. Now I'm trying to figure out meth. It's not cheap, right? I mean, it's not cheap. Did you ever feel, hey, this is not a good thing for you because it can be physically damaging? It can wreck your dental work. It can, make you look 10 years older if you stand it. Did any of that ever cross your mind?
At the time, no. Because at the time I was, as I said, I had been using it to get off of the pills, and then I started using the heroin, and at that point it was none of it mattered anymore. It was a drop off at that point. You said off into the abyss, and that would probably be that dropping point.
Okay, so when I'm transitioning from meth over to heroin, I'm trying to get off meth, so I'm going to substitute heroin?
Oh no,
I'm just trying to go that way.
Yeah.
Okay, now, almost all of us who've been through things always promise ourselves, hey, we're never going to shoot. Right?
Yes.
Put the hand up in the air to the God you may or may not believe in, and you make a promise, right? I'm not going to do this, right?
Right.
I'd never know how we can go from smoking heroin, which is a lot of entry-level people go through that, to all of a sudden I'm shooting in my arms, right?
Right.
And I don't even know how to do that, so I got other people helping me do it, right, until I can figure it out, although you were in the medical field. So
I was actually
almost
almost certified phlebotomist. I was actually really good at it. But I had said that I would never shoot and a lot of it was me knowing myself well enough to know that it was a bad idea because I knew how to do it. I had a fascination with needles. Like I knew that if I started that I would get hooked on the needle, and I knew that would be the end of me.
Do you think, and I'm asking just for the benefit of our audience and also anybody out there that may have the same pathology,
Right.
do you think that sometimes the needle itself, people are fascinated with cutting, people are fascinated with needling, they may not even be the drug itself, it's just the sensation. Do you think that's true?
Yes, I know that's true. That's what I was afraid of when I was swearing off shooting. I was afraid that if I did that, not only would I be hooked on the drug that I was putting in the needle, but I would be hooked on the needle itself, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, how many people do you think are like that in your set? Are you the odd one in that regard as far as the needling?
No.
Or no, a lot of people are like
A lot of people I've met get hooked on the needle because it's people that I would know that wouldn't even have anything, next to nothing in their needles, and they would still hit and they would still get relief even though I knew it wasn't possible. They were hooked on the ritual, the shooting part of it.
Okay, so there's some dopamine reaction here in your brain that's actually responding just to that act.
Yeah, whether they realize it or not, but a lot of people actually do have a pretty good grasp of themselves enough to know that, but they don't always choose to fix it.
I'm thinking, what if we could use our disciplines to tap into the same thing of our brain? If that is so destructive, could it also work on our benefit if we got into holy habits and disciplines and routines that would be, really good and reinforcing in your mind?
Right.
I mean, to me, that's kind of a good thing.
Right.
All right. So you got into this now. Your girls are gone now, right? I mean, you can't do anything about raising these kids. Now, are they with mom, your parents, or are
they're with their dad? As he wasn't really good with me, but he was always good with them. So they went to him, and when he found out that I was using again, he filed for emergency custody, and he
got it.
Yes.
Okay, so he went to emergency custody and he got it. And then when that happened, did you feel, because this is normal people that are watching this show who have never went through these things that you have, they always go, but Elena, you seem to be like a good mom. You seem to be a person that would want to be with their kids. I just want you to, just as we close out this episode, to just convey to them, look, at when you're on addiction, all the maternal feelings and affections are just shut down.
It's really hard because it's like my kids, I didn't want them to feel like I was choosing a drug over them, and I don't even see it that way myself. It's you get lost in it. It's like you love your kids, you want to be with them, and when they get taken away, all rationale goes out the door, and you're just so in a state of destruction inside because you got them taken away, even though you know how selfish it is, and you know that it is best for them if they go. It's still horrible losing them at the same time.
Well, I don't doubt that feeling is not only legitimate and real, but it can be so hurtful. And that's why I keep thinking about why when people hear our stories from our show, they're always saying the same thing. What happened here? Why didn't mom and dad or Elena feel like they want to be with their kids? Yes, you do.
Yes.
But this is how destructive dope is. It's never the person at ground zero. It always gets to everybody as it stretches itself out. The radiation just doesn't stay here with me. It radiates and affects all my children, my family life, my job life, all those things. Well, listen, we're going to continue with Elena's story tomorrow, day 3. Right now, just remember, for more information on all the prison ministries, all the activity that we're doing here in rehab, and all the weekly services and special events here at the Dream Center through Church on the Street, just hop out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. That's cotsphoenix.org. And remember, until next time, no one's outside the reach of God. No, not one.